Hello and welcome to Writer Rant. 5 minutes of author advice because I have to get back to writing and so do you. So this week I'd like to talk a little bit about show and don't tell. Now you may have heard this a lot as an up-and-coming writer, and I've seen it quite a bit in terms of good writing, but unfortunately I've also seen a lot on the opposite side of bad writing of a bunch of people telling the reader something instead of just showing them. And I know it's a little hard to distinguish between the showing and the telling, so I'd like to clear that up a little bit, maybe give you some advice on things that you can perhaps show your reader instead of telling them. Because if you just tell your reader something, it really doesn't give them much of an excitement to read it. It's more of a, oh, here it is. They don't have to do any thinking. They just are given what you want them to take out of it. Now, if you allow them to take what they would read out of their own interpretation, a lot of times that's through showing. And a lot of the ways that you can use this, there's a few different ways. I know one of the more famous quotes about showing and not telling is, don't tell me that the moon is full, show it to me in the glint of a piece of broken glass. So it's those little things that still get the information across, except it's a little more, I guess, literary. It's a little more interesting to read instead of just facts. Now, I mean, if you're writing something that's all facts, I mean, do you really want to read that? And if you don't want to read it, then your reader obviously doesn't want to read it. And so it's those little things about the setting, it's your senses, it's your smell and your taste and just your hearing, all those different senses. How can you essentially show your reader what's around them in this world that you've created? And you do that through showing via the senses. And so that's one part of it. Another part is when you have characters, you don't just say, okay, here's a character, here's all this stuff about him. I mean, that's boring. I mean, yeah, you have to get that information out eventually, but a lot of times it's a matter of, okay, how do you do that in such a way that you're not just listing off a whole bunch of attributes of this character? How are you showing us essentially what this character is about, who they are? A lot of times you get really into the depth of the character if you're showing us their reactions to things instead of essentially telling us that, oh, well, they react this way because their parents left them and they're an orphan, or those kind of things where it's like, okay, I get it. You got to have that exposition with the character, but if it's just they react a little weirdly to certain situations, you can then later tell why that is, but leading up to it, if you really just show it, then the reader gets interested. It's like, well, why is that? Why is that different? I mean, the same thing with exposition. I mean, you don't want to dump all this information on your reader, so it's these little hints here and there in your characters and their reactions. I mean, heck, probably the best example of this is John Wick. I mean, the recent movie, you got this character, everyone knows him, everyone's got this lore about this character, and oftentimes it's when he's not around, it's all this like, oh, it's reactions to this thing, and it's a matter of you're showing it. You're not just straight up saying, oh yeah, he did all these things and here's the result. It's more of a depth in that case. So with that in mind, what are some of the things that you've seen in writing that really spark your interest when they are shown to you as compared to told to you? Just drop a comment in the comments below and let me know. Let me know if there's anything else that annoys you, and maybe I'll get to it in a future post. This has been Writer Rant, and I'm Benjamin M. Weilert. Thanks.